Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about how I survived and planned for a really long day that I had yesterday. So before I get into any more details, time for the intro. Yesterday, which was Monday, October 26th, I actually had a really long day. The day started at about 7:30 for me, a lot earlier than that because I had to get up and do my meditation. But my day started at about 7:30 and I didn't get home until it was about quarter to 9 last night, which is pretty much all the hours that I'm honestly awake and functional. Now, I got through this in a couple of ways. One was through intense planning, and the second was I just got lucky. I had three basic steps to getting through this. So I knew this was coming for multiple weeks. It's not like it was something that was sprang up on me or I would never agree to it. But because I had this coming for multiple weeks, I planned everything and didn't do much. That's why I'm actually on a TikTok break right now, is because of this particular day yesterday. Because if I had done TikTok on the weekend or even earlier than that and tried to do too much before doing this day, I would have made myself feel even worse than I already am. So the first thing that I did was I took a lot of days to try and do as little as possible to give myself the best chance of feeling the best I could for the actual day. The second part is I actually felt good yesterday, and by good I mean my base level 3 to 4. By the end of the day though, yesterday I was really starting to feel it. I knew today would be rough, but I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I have nothing going on. I can manage to get through the day without really any problems at all. I was feeling it yesterday, starting at about 6 o'clock, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't as terrible as I thought, and I actually prefer, honestly, having a long day like that to preparing to have to go in and work a shift that's only 4 to 5.5 hours long. Honestly, I think those take more out of you because you got to prepare and be prepared for your workday or whatever you're doing just as much as you do for a 12-hour day, but instead of only being there and committing for a few hours, you're there for a decent amount of hours, and it feels like a decent investment in time, even though you're knocked off the entire day of doing anything else. If I had to choose between doing 12-hour days and doing 5 or 6 hour days, I would choose a 12-hour day, which you might go, really? But the answer to that is yes, because the time it takes for me to get ready is a better investment of my time for a 12-hour day than it is for a 5-hour day. So that's my reasoning behind that. Step two of all of this is hope for the best. So just because you take a lot of rest, I've found, or plan to do something and want to do something and have committed to something on a particular day, doesn't mean that your body's going to be able to do that on that day. You kind of got to get lucky and get a good day. Thankfully, I did. Now, it would take a lot for me when I have a commitment to not be able to do it. I would basically have to be in so much pain I couldn't move because I dealt with very harsh conditions for a very long time with my degree. I was quite sick. I'm able to push through those really rough times, but it's not the best decision for me to do. You may do all the planning beforehand and take all the rest that you need to, and you may not actually be successful with being able to do whatever you've committed to that day. And that's where having a schedule and being employed gets really difficult with both IIH and migraines. You might do as much as you can to prepare for those days, but have no control over how you actually feel on those days. Today, I am spending the entire day almost resting. I do have to do this filming because I do have a video coming out in a couple of days, which is this one. So, I mean, there are things I have to do, but filming for me is basically I just sit down and talk to a camera. It's not a really, really big investment of energy. When I overdo it, I have to be able to have time to recuperate. The amount of days that that can take depends on how much I overdo it. And if it cycles in a migraine or a flare up because of doing too much. So today, I don't know if you can tell or not. I don't know if it's visible or not, but I am really, really tired. I may not physically outward show it, but I feel absolutely exhausted. And I knew this was going to happen because you get that feeling at the end of the day like that you're like, yep, I overdid it. And generally, being that I've been dealing with this now for over 2 years, I know that feeling all too well and know what's coming. Now, what comes in the actual next couple of days can be quite unpredictable, but I do know that I'm going to pay for it somehow physically. I'm going to actually do a video at the end of the month where I talk about what exactly happens and how it actually feels when I do something I shouldn't. Now, I try and show you this in the vlogs, but it's pretty difficult because when I'm feeling like I've overdone it, all I want to do is sleep and rest and watch YouTube videos or listen to audiobooks, pretty much anything that doesn't take any amount of energy. Even though I rested before and will have to rest afterwards and had prepared this block of time, I'll still end up paying for it because I overdid it on a day. And it's really, really cool to get through a really long day like I had yesterday and go, well, I wasn't hurting that bad. So, like, can I actually maybe do things now? And then you wake up the next day and you feel like you've been hit by a truck and you just get reminded that, you know, everything isn't normal. I had so many days that were that long in university. So I had to write calculus exams sometimes at 7 o'clock at night because that's when we had our midterm scheduled. There were some days they did that to me on a Tuesday or Thursday, and I had to be on the bus at 7:30 in the morning because I had to be on campus by 8:30. And to get to campus on time, I had to take that bus because that's the only bus that was available. The only thing is now, having IIH and chronic migraine, is that it only takes one day. Before it used to take, well, when I first got sick, I think I was exhausted by about Wednesday. But if I had a really long day like that, I would maybe manage to get one less day in before I really had trouble. But now it's like one day. You overdo it and you're done. I enjoyed so much my day yesterday because I felt normal up until about 6 o'clock last night. I felt normal. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? I might actually be able to manage to do this now. And then it really, really hit hard. You're reminded of the fact that you can't do as much as you feel like you should be able to do on these days that you have a lot to do and you end up paying for it the next day. Now, some of it might be the fact that I am noticing I am a little bit out of shape again. I need to really, really get back to doing my workouts, and I'm hoping to be able to get back to doing those workouts as soon as I get over this couple of days. But I do need to give myself a couple more days of rest before I do that because otherwise I'll end up being worse. What people don't understand is that I could probably actually make my situation worse by continuing to push through it. I have learned that if you need to take a rest, that you should take a rest. And so that's what I'll be doing to get through this. Just before I end this video, I just want to make sure that I let you guys know that we are coming up on the time change this coming weekend. So I need to tell you about how the video schedule is going to change. So times are about to change for those of you pretty much in everywhere else in the world because daylight savings time ends in North America on, well, technically Sunday morning really early. But I live in Saskatchewan, so we don't actually observe a time change. We don't actually move our time ahead in the spring. So we don't push back our clocks in the fall, or fall back as they call it in for the winter. So my videos will still be going live at 5 p.m. my time, but this will be different for you. So now it'll be 6 p.m. Eastern, which is the same as New York City, 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you guys have any questions or comments, be sure to leave one down below. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification bell and turn your notifications to all so you never miss another video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone.